Hey, Okie Tools here, and this is going to be my video doing a transmission service on my 2007 Dodge Ram 1500 half-ton pickup. This is the one that has the 5-speed 545 RFE automatic transmission and the 5.7 liter V8 Hemi, although I believe that they use the same 5-speed transmission for it and the 4.7 if I'm not mistaken. Okay, this is the filter I chose. It's a Wix filter. Its part number is 58843, and it comes with the gasket, the large filter, and then the screw-on filter, so that was nice that it all came together as a package. Here's the transmission fluid you're going to need. You're going to need anywhere from 6 to 8 quarts for these kinds of transmissions, so that should be enough. And you're going to need some of these hand tools to go ahead and get the job done. Hey guys, quick note here. This is the instruction sheet that came with the Wix filter for the 545 RFE automatic transmission. It's also pertinent to the 45 and the 68 as well. It has to do with what kind of filter you should get for your truck and transmission, whether you have a two-wheel drive or a 4x4, and that's dictated on your vehicle by how deep the pan is, according to this picture right here. The 4x4, as you can see, is deeper than the two-wheel drive, and mine had the 4x4 pan on it with the deeper pan, so it was no big deal for me ordering mine. I knew which one I needed to get, but it may be something you need to look into on your vehicle. Also be aware of, according to these instructions, I believe it says 1999 through 2007 two-wheel drive service transmissions may contain a 4x4 style filter and pan. So just because yours is two-wheel drive, it may actually still use a deeper pan, and thus you need a 4x4 style. So just be aware of that when you're ordering your filter. Okay, I'm under the truck here, and I have it jacked up. This is just so it makes it easier to drain. This is the pan right here, the transmission pan. And the only thing you really need to be aware of is there's the exhaust that kind of runs across the back of it. And there's the back 3 bolts there that need to come off. So it is kind of in the way, so you just kind of have to work it away. But you got plenty of room right there to work with, and shouldn't be that big a deal. But these are 8mm bolts, and you have quite a few of them all the way around you need to take off. You can do it one of 2 ways. You can either loosen those and take off those back 3 that are right there, or you can, and then, you know, bust it loose a little so it can drain, and put your drain pan back over here, which may be what I do. Just be aware that you're going to really have to clean up your exhaust pipe after that, and some of these other surfaces could be real messy. Or you can actually stick a tube down there, and if you have a pump, which I do have a pump, you could suck it out of the pan and you know, make it much less messy. I may try to do that instead of actually draining from back here. I just have to see if my tube is long enough to get in there. So just wanted to show you where the pan was and show you the bolts you're going to be taking out to drop the pan, and to be aware of the exhaust pipe that's in the way. So get back with you in a moment. Okay, I decided to go ahead and use my pump because I think it'll be less messy, and because it turns out that my tube is long enough to go down. As you see, that's it bottoming out in the transmission, and the black tube comes up from the tube right there and comes over to the red one, and then comes into the pump here and the extraction, and there's the outflow, and it goes into my catcher right here that I have supported by some of these you know, just up off the ground, so I don't have to bend over so much. So I just wanted to show you my setup there to pump that out. So I'm going to go ahead and pump it out, and I think it'll be a lot less messy, hopefully, and come back up. Okay, I got quite a bit out with that. Seems pretty good weight. There's probably quite a bit more left in the pan, but it's just sucking air now when I pump it. So I'll go ahead and be climbing under there and loosen up all the bolts, and taking the 3 out on the end that's leaning down from jacking up the truck, and go ahead and start draining it out. Okay, as you can see there, it's flowing pretty good, dripping pretty good. drips onto that member, cross member, as I told you, and onto the exhaust. So you just got to be aware of that when you need to clean them up. So got these up here, these bolts out, and left some of those in, just loosened them, and it's flowing pretty good. Still seems to be some in there from you know, pumping it out, but I knew, because as you see, this is the 4x4 that I have, the Dodge Ram, and it has the deeper pan, so there's going to be quite a bit of fluid in here, so you need to be careful when you tip it up after you take it out. This bolt right here you need to be aware of. It is actually underneath the exhaust pipe. Had no trouble getting to it though with my ratchet, just a thin head ratchet and a shallow socket, no problem. If you want to continue using the regular ratchet you're probably going to be using on it, you can probably just use a wobble or something to get around it, but there's quite a bit of room between it though, so it shouldn't be that big a deal. Okay, got the pan off, and as you can see, it's almost done dripping. This one right here is the screw-on filter. This one right here is the larger filter, and it is held on by the T25 bolt up there. It goes off, and you put the new ones on, and you go ahead and clean off the mating surface here. It's a little dirty. I'll clean that up, and it'll be ready to put the pan on with the new gasket after I put the new filters on. So there's the screw off one. A lot more is coming out now. So now to get the bigger one. Okay, there's the big filter off. Just a quick note here, guys, when you're trying to take out the T25 bolt that holds on the larger filter, the exhaust pipe's in the way. When I tried to use my bit driver and my T25 bit, it just it wasn't going to happen, and I was trying to use my socket too. I have a T25 socket, was trying to use it on the extension. That wouldn't work. Wobble wasn't going to happen because even the socket by itself was still too tall to go into place and be usable and come down, you know, with that exhaust pipe there. So what I did was I got my 1/4-inch wrench and just put my bit in it like that, held my finger on the back, and this gave me the leverage I needed, and this is you know, more than enough, gives you more than enough room underneath that behind that exhaust pipe to get to it. Just saying, that's a really dumb spot to put that on that transmission Chrysler, but hey, you know, it is what it is. You got to get it done. So that's a little tip. Okay, here's the pan. Got the old RTV gasket cleaned off of it, and got it all cleaned out, sprayed out, and got the magnet all clean and back in there, and was looking pretty good in there, and now it's all clean, ready to go back on. Okay, there's the new big filter, new screw-on filter, and the mating surface has been cleaned up, and we've cleaned up some of the rest of the drippings that are down here, and it's time to go ahead. Got the other gasket right here and the pan. Time to put it all back together. Okay, so I got the two new filters on and the gasket on, and got the pan back in place, and have put all the bolts in and tighten them down. They are to be torqued to 105 inch-pounds. Be careful with these 8mm bolts, because they can be kind of finicky. It's real easy to snap them off, so just be aware of that. So you know, 105 inch-pounds, use your torque wrench and do it right. It's time to fill it up with fluid now. So I got the truck back on the ground and got my funnel in to start filling. Make sure you measure what you caught. It's a good idea to have your drain pan completely empty and fill it up with, you know, doing the service, and then measure it out. I measure mine out into little quart bottles. I think I've shown that on one of my other videos. And you know, go ahead and measure. Mine measured up to about 7.5 with a little bit of spillage. It's going to be a little bit more than that, but you know, you want to put some in and run it, and then wait for it to go down, and then go ahead and put it in and top it off. And it's great that these come with a dipstick. Some vehicles don't come with dipsticks, like my other Chrysler product, my Town & Country. So this it has a nice dipstick that tells you a cold range and a hot range. So time to start filling it. And yes, it is raining, but you got to get the job done, right? So went ahead and ran it for a bit, took it up to operating temperature and checked the dipstick, and went ahead and topped it off and checked for leaks, and there are no leaks. So you need to make sure you do those things, top it off and check it for leaks when you're done. And looks good, it's running good, no leaks to speak of, so that's good. This was my video of doing a transmission service on my Dodge Ram 1500 2007 with the Hemi 5.7 liter V8 and the 5-speed 545 RFE automatic transmission. Thanks for watching.